I want you to picture someone, maybe yourself, standing in front of the bathroom mirror saying, I'm wealthy. Money flows to me easily. And some part of them, maybe some part of you, right in the middle of it, just rolls its eyes. Maybe there's this voice that goes, This is crap. This is dumb. No, you're not. If that's happened to you, I want you to know that that's not you doing it wrong. That's not even the right way to do it. That's a documented reaction, and it's actually a huge part of why affirmations alone rarely make a difference. Affirmations alone don't work because 99% of the time we're not doing them right. Here's the short version of what I want to get across to you today. An affirmation you don't actually believe yet doesn't create the belief. And for some people, it can genuinely take the old belief and reinforce it and make it louder. So I want to show you exactly why that happens and more importantly, what to do instead, because there's a version of affirmations that actually does work and it's probably not what you've been taught. So if you've ever felt that internal eye roll saying your own affirmations, stick around because this is going to click. So hit the like button if this is landing already for you. Subscribe if you're new. Every week we take one of these apart with the actual science, neuroscience, and the research behind it. So let's start with a study that genuinely should change how the entire affirmation industry talks about this. A psychologist named Joanne Wood at the University of Waterloo, she ran an experiment where people with low self-esteem repeated the statement, I'm a lovable person, several times a day. And here's what happened. Those people ended up feeling worse, not better. Now, I want to be precise about what that study is actually telling us because it's not proof that affirmations are useless. It's proof that when there's a big enough gap between what you're saying and what you actually believe, your brain doesn't just quietly say, oh, let's go with the new belief. It actually starts generating counter arguments to defend the belief that it already has. So when you say, I'm wealthy, and somewhere underneath a very confident voice says, no, you're not. Now you're arguing with yourself instead of actually building something. So here's the piece almost nobody that's selling you affirmations really says. If repeating a sentence isn't actually the mechanism, then what is? Well, there's a researcher, his name is Michael Merzenich. He's considered one of the founding figures of modern neuroplasticity research, and his work shows that the brain absolutely can reorganize itself. We're talking about neuroplasticity here, so our brain, no matter what our age is, we are able to learn, but the learning and the change comes through focused, repeated practice paired with the genuine emotional engagement. Now, what the heck does that mean? Well, it means that it's not just passive repetition. It's not just saying the words while your body sits there completely unconvinced. It's not the words. Your brain does not speak English. Your unconscious mind understands and reads the language of emotion. So it's not just the words, it's the feeling that your body has, it's the state that you're in while you're saying them. That state matters way more than most people realize because here's something worth knowing. Your nervous system doesn't separate financial stress from physical stress. So if you're in a guarded, tense, defended state, you're not in the physiological condition to install a new belief. You're in survival mode. And survival mode doesn't take risks. It doesn't invest, doesn't negotiate from a place of confidence, no matter what words are coming out of your mouth. This connects to something a researcher named Richard Davidson at the University of Wisconsin spent his entire career studying. Patterns of brain activity associated with calm, clarity, steady decision making, something he calls neural coherence. And here's what's interesting. The people he studied with higher coherence weren't optimistic just because they decided to be. Their nervous system was trained over time through actual practice, and their nervous system was operating from a genuinely a different baseline. A wealth mindset is not an attitude. It's not just a set of beliefs or a set of thoughts that we just choose. It looks a lot more like a trained physiological, biological state, not just a sentence that we're repeating in front of the mirror. So here's what actually works in place of the mirror affirmation that you don't actually believe. First of all, before you try to change a single belief, we have to regulate the body. We have to breathe in slow, inhale, exhale, releasing the tension somewhere, wherever it is that we're holding it. Anything that's genuinely telling our nervous system there's no threat right now. We have to take ourselves out of that threat mode. We cannot install a new belief on top of a body that's braced for danger, that's ready to respond. We cannot put a new belief on top of adrenaline and cortisol. So when you do practice a new belief, we want to bring that real felt emotion into it, even if it's just for a second. 60 seconds of a genuine feeling of calm does more than 100 repetitions with your body being tense. And here's the thing. This is actually really close to what Neville Goddard was describing, and most people don't really appreciate this. He wasn't telling us to repeat positive words in a mirror. He was describing a shift in assumed identity in a felt state. The words themselves, the affirmations, was never really the point. So if this started to reframe something in you, hit that subscribe button, because this is exactly the kind of patterns that we're going to keep unpacking. And let me know in the comment section, what are some of the affirmations that you've said that you still don't believe? That you still don't believe? Because I'm going to read every single one of your comments, and taking your comments, that's going to help me give me content for some of the next videos, because that way I can work specifically with some of the objections and some of the blocks that you have. Because the truth is that reality responds to our consciousness. That's not just a phrase, that's actual neuroscience. So leave me your comments, and I will see you in the next video.